It's a Wales through a goal, slots it beyond Foderingham, and the Millers are in front in the South Yorkshire derby. And for the first time in 42 years, Rotherham United win at Bramall Lane. On the edge of the box, the Dauphin, he can hit them, and he does. The Dauphin has scored an absolute screamer for Rotherham United. Rotherham United have secured their championship status for next season.
Do me a favour, drop me off in Rotherham.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to New York Talk. This is the Rotherham United podcast. Normal service resumes today. Normal podcast, no watch along. It was a good decision not to do a watch along for that game, to be honest with it. A really, really good decision. We will talk England because we've got to. We'll also talk Rotherham kits. Jules signing in. Rumours of Peter 𝐁𝐞𝐬𝐭 going as well. There's a fair amount of Rotherham stuff to talk about, so let's not get too down by England. Well, we will. Ben's back. How are we doing, Ben?
I'm good, thank you.
You awake after the game still? You didn't fall asleep or anything?
Yeah, I'm all right.
Danny's back. How you doing, Danny?
I'm doing all right. I think I've calmed down enough from that England performance. I was legit stood in the middle of my living room screaming at the television, thinking they'd be able to hear me out in whatever German city they're in. But yeah, it wasn't good today, was it?
No, but it was terrible. Martin Holland's with us as Noel Jordan. Apparently, is anybody awake after that crap show? Just about. Paul Madden mentions our intro video needs sorting because we haven't secured championship. We will sort it at some point.
Until the new season kicks off, we are still technically a championship club.
Until Thursday when the fixtures come out.
Yeah, and we'll go with that until Thursday. Until next Thursday.
So yeah, we will do that at some point. Let's start with England because it was an hour ago, just over an hour ago that the game finished, Ben. We talked a lot on Sunday night about the Serbia game and how it was poor. It was not very entertaining, but the job was done. It was a fairly professional performance if it was a very dull performance. This was a significant step down for me. We didn't start that well, although the 10-minute period up until the goal was quite good, but it was a shorter period. And then to say we took us foot off the gap would be understatement of the year. It was awful. That was awful.
Yeah, it was not good. It was not good. It was a step down from Serbia, but the opposition, Denmark, are a really good team. I think I saw earlier. I think they're 12th in the world, 15th in the world, something like that. So they're a good team. But I mean, sometimes when you play a good team, you know that you played a good team, and it's like, yeah, well, they're a good team. It didn't feel like that. It felt like we were just really bad. But I mean, leading up to the goal, it was all right. They were trying to put 11 men behind the ball again, and that's really hard to break down in international football because there's no you're together for a couple of weeks, before the actual tournament, so you don't learn a set system or whatever. It's kind of sort of winging it in a way. So it is hard to break them low block or whatever down. It is hard. So, but I mean, it's just, I don't know what the problem is. I'm not a football expert. I'm not a manager. I don't know. But I mean, you saw them talking about it at half time. I was on the BBC, I think I was, and it was Ferdinand and Michael Richards. They were just talking about the pressing, and it was just lethargic, and that with the whole performance. Really, it seemed lethargic, and you see him at the end of the game. They're on, he's on his back, and it's like, what I mean? What are they doing have they been playing? Have they been sprinting every day, all day since Sunday or what? Because I don't know. That did not deserve a lay on the back. Oh, you know what I mean?
No, I agree. I mean, England had never won the first two games of a European Championship ever, so it would have been a first had it happened, Danny. But we'll talk about specifics in a minute, specific issues in terms of performance and whatnot. But it's a concern. Is it a concern? Because you go back to 2021 when 2020 happened, that second game against Scotland, it was dreadful. You go even back to the World Cup, that second game against America, it was dreadful. So we've got form for this, and we've got a final and a quarter final like that. So are we looking too much into it, or is it a problem?
Well, according to Kyle Walker, the fans are overreacting, and we've got too much of an expectation for this England team.
When did he said that?
Post-match interview, they interviewed him straight after the game, and he basically said, like, the expectations sometimes too much, and it's tournament football. We sometimes have these blips, but we still get a result out of it. But we as England fans have always had a rep about expecting England to do well, but I think it's justified by the talent that's on the pitch. We have got so many of the best players in the world in our squad at the minute. One of which won Premier League Player of the Year. The other one won Young Premier League Player of the Year. One of them won La Liga Player of the Year. The other one's the highest goal scorer in Bundesliga history from this season. So, yeah, we do have an expectation, and it is high. But with a performance like that, we've got every right to be annoyed about it, because we've made a Denmark team that struggled against Slovenia look like prime Germany team from this tournament. And we went into the tournament thinking that the defence would be the issue, but I think the defence has been all right. We had misplaced passes today, sure, but that's because the midfield weren't doing the jobs properly. The issue is attack. There's no cohesion between between the defence and midfield, and then to attack. And I think that's where the issue lies. And yeah, like you say, with the past tournaments like the Euros and the World Cups, yeah, we've not won our opening 2 games, and we've been all right going forwards. But seeing how far we've gone, we shouldn't be settling for all right. We should be looking to improve again this tournament. And against the Denmark team that we knew would be looking for an improved result, we've completely sat off them, let them dictate the pace, bar the opening 20 minutes or so when we scored. But as soon as Denmark scored, we looked so rattled. We gave away possession far too often, and we just looked completely clueless. We got rattled by conceding. And for me, it's just not good enough. It's not good enough to go far in this competition, which is the expectation of our fans after getting to the final last time. And the issue needs sorting quickly. And I know I've said in the past that we always find like a, what's the word? Someone to pin the blame on. Scapegoat. But I think the scapegoat for this tournament is Trent Alexander-Arnold, but it's also justified because he was atrocious today.
Yeah, let's move on to Trent and the midfield problem, Ben. For me, the experiment is failing quite badly. Trent, he lost the ball a couple of times again, so he's not necessarily doing his defensive duties very well, and I don't necessarily see too much benefit from his attacking play. His attacking play is not terrible, but it's not enough. I think Bellingham would be better in there, so which then you can play Palmer or Foden in the same position or whatever. To experiment, and Southgate called an experiment in his post-match. He did call the Trent thing an experiment. To experiment in your first 2 games of the major tournament is a little bit mind-blowing.
He's brave. He's definitely brave.
Yeah.
I think Bellingham will be better in there. I think Bellingham was really poor tonight. I don't think Trent was the worst player on the field. I don't think it's working. But you can see what they're trying to do. They're trying to get it into him. They're trying to spray it to Saka and Trippier and get Foden in the middle and stuff. But it just didn't work, did it? But I think Bellingham in there will be much better. But he's trying to get... The thing with international football is you don't sign players. You get given your group of talented players and you've got to try and fit them all in. So it feels like he's trying to fit Trent in. But for me, Cole Palmer needs to be on there. And if that means moving Bellingham back and dropping Trent, I think that has to be done. Because he has to be on that squad. I mean, the season that he's had, for him to sit on the bench and watch 2 attacking players come on ahead of him, I think is 3. I think is... I don't get it. I don't understand it. But if it... I don't know.
Yeah.
He has to play. Cole Palmer has to play for me. He has to play.
He's not even like Conan, has it? That's this.
Even if he's off the bench. If you're going to bring Bowen or Eze on, Eze and Cole Palmer play the same position.
I like
Anyway,
Eze, but Eze might as well not play today.
I like Eze, but yeah, I like him. But would you bring him on over Palmer?
No,
Would you?
Oh, absolutely
Exactly.
not. No.
I don't get why he's leaving Palmer on bench.
And Gordon, I'd have brought Gordon on ahead of Eze as well, probably.
He likes Bowen. He clearly likes Bowen. If
Yeah.
he's brought him on twice, which is fair, he might have done something in training or whatever. He might have slipped him a fiver or whatever. But Palmer has to play regardless of any of that. You know what I mean? Off a bench or not, in my opinion, he has to play.
Scott Kent says, Southgate said we can no like for Calvin Phillips. He said we've got water bench. I think that is a problem. It is a problem, Danny. We miss Calvin Phillips because he was excellent at the last Euros. So there is a problem there. But Trent Alexander-Arnold was never going to be the answer to Calvin Phillips not being in the team. It was just never going to be the answer. For me, you ask Rice to sit deeper. You just ask him, right, you're going to sit really, really deep. You're going to help out that defence. Shearer talked about this. If Stones then wants to step into midfield, Rice needs to help him do that. Yep. And then Bellingham sits in there, and Bellingham can break through the lines, can dictate play a little bit. And then you put Foden in his right position. You get one of the best young players in the country in Cole Palmer in the team. It feels really simple. It might not be, but it feels really simple.
I think Alan Shearer's post-match analysis from the stadium was absolutely spot on. Yeah. He got it absolutely spot on, which begs the question, why can he see it and Southgate can't? Is Southgate trying just to play a patchwork squad into the system that suited Phillips more? But again, he's got, a light-for-light replacement in Wharton, but, it's his first tournament, so I sort of get why he doesn't want to chuck him into the deep end. But at the same time, playing this England team that's full to the brim with talent, he's almost trying to play all the best players and just make up the system around them, which doesn't work. You can't play all your best players and just invent the system around them. You need to have a way of playing that will suit the majority of the players. Yeah, Foden might be on the bench, but it means you can have Cole Palmer in the team. Foden might be on the bench, but it means you can play Bellingham in an advanced position. Because Foden is another one where he's playing more out of position. And today he came in field a bit more, which got him on the ball a bit more. Yeah. But then he got in Bellingham's way, then Bellingham got in Trent's way because he was going deeper, which then forced Declan Rice further back, which then brought Harry Kane out of position because he was trying to help out with everything. So it just kept pushing us further and further and further back, inviting pressure. And all you need to do is look at Denmark's goal. There's no player within 10 yards of him. So he just thinks, I'm going to have a pop at this. And it's a fantastic finish. Don't get me wrong. There's no way Pickford's saving it when it bounces up in front of him and then comes in off the post. So I accept that. It's a brilliant finish. But you shouldn't be giving, like Ben says, a team that's ranked in the top 20 in the world 10 yards of space just outside your 18 yards box, because you are going to concede at least 5 out of 10 times with the quality that Denmark have got. Maybe this game's a wake-up call for England. Maybe it takes Southgate away where he's like, yeah, I need to rethink this. And I hope it does, because, yeah, we're all but qualified with 4 points and Denmark's on 2. But at the same time, if we don't get a result against Slovenia, which has question marks on it after today, we could be scraping through as, like runners-up or, God forbid, best third place.
Guess who we play will finish second?
Germany, isn't it?
France. Oh, it's
Germany.
France. I thought it was France.
Germany.
Oh. So we need to finish top of this group, preferably. I mean, take Germany, for example. They've played the same amount of games of us. Excuse me. All right, they've completely battered Scotland, but they've scored 7 goals. Job done. They're in the second round. Easy. But we've made it so difficult for ourselves now, where we have to get a result against Slovenia and the pressure's going to be on now. It would have been a lot easier for Southgate to end his experiment with Trent, which you shouldn't do at a major tournament, by the way. A major tournament isn't the place for experimentation. It's the place of playing a system that works. He should have done that more often in the warm-up games or in the qualifiers or whatever. But now we need a result against Slovenia, who very nearly beat Serbia. Slovenia will be one hell of a test. on Tuesday, is it?
Tuesday,
Yeah, that's going to be one hell of a test now because their tail's going to be up and they're thinking, oh, well, we're up for this. If we beat England, we could go through. And I won't put it past them either.
No. Tom and a few people saying why are we insisting on 2 holding midfielders? Why not go 4-1-4-1? Which is certainly an option. But what I would say is when you come up against the better teams, Spain, France, Germany, etc., you then really need this team probably needs 2 holding midfielders. So I think from Southgate's point of view, it'd be silly to play one formation and then one game change it altogether and change your system altogether. Is how I guess how he probably sees it. But if Bellingham's in that middle too, he's not a defensive midfielder. He's not a sitter. He's in the midfield for extra security, but he's not a sitter in the traditional sense. Scott Grundy says for Southgate not taking natural left back is mad. Yeah,
a fit natural left back. It almost seems like we're hanging on for dear life until we get Luke Shaw back.
I thought Chilwell was rubbish against Belgium, was it in the friendlies?
Yeah,
in the March friendlies, but he's a natural left footer, which I think
Trippier played left back from Atletico, though, right? He played left back.
Yeah, I'm not having a go Trippier, but that natural left foot on there helps Foden as well. Yeah, it was an odd decision, that one. Let's again put some perspective on it, Ben. We're basically through. It's not mathematically certain, but it's 99% England are through to the next round. Probably a point will see us through to top spot, I think. Because nobody else has won a game. So if we get a point, we're going 5 points.
That'll depend on Denmark's goal difference if they beat Serbia.
Head to head, isn't it?
I think it's head to head first.
Was it? Oh.
Yeah, head to head. It'll then go to goal difference. Obviously,
yeah, because
we drew. So a point might do it. It may need to be a win, but at the end of the day, we should be beating Slovenia anyway. But these group stages are a unique thing in football. Ben, it don't really matter how you play. You need to get the points on the board. You need to just get through to the next round. And last 16 is when it really kind of matters going forward. So are we overreacting a little bit?
Maybe a little bit. It's been 2 games. The most important thing in tournament football is winning the game. It don't matter if you win 6-0 or 1-0. If you win the game, you win the game. So that's the most important thing. Hopefully you can get it right. But I don't know. It just don't feel like we're going for the win. But the problem is because it's all or nothing. You don't want to gamble too much because anything can happen, and they might catch you in a little quick break. You know what I mean? So it's really hard to be brave and gamble in cup competitions, if you want to say. But I think we need to gamble a little bit more because I think we're being too passive. Because I think when you're a bigger country, when you've got a better squad, you can afford to gamble a little bit more and take more risks. But it's tournament football. Anything can happen. That's why it's such a good game.
That's why it's so brilliant. When you look at the Slovenia-Serbia game and all these other games, that's why they're amazing. There's so much jeopardy on the line for these games. There's only 3 games, and if you get 2 games wrong, you're probably out of a tournament. Powerman says we need to drop Kane. Watkins was really good. Watkins was really good, but you can't drop Harry Kane down. He is the best striker in the world. There's nobody else in the world that's as good as Kane. But he causes problems in terms of the press. Yeah,
this is the conversation I've been having with a mate of mine. You remember Jed from when we signed Sam Nombe? Well, Ollie Watkins is. He went to school with Ollie Watkins and played football with him. So whenever he plays for England, it's like, "Hey, it's your mate," hey, sort of thing. But I was saying to him, "Do you think?" My initial reaction from the game was to drop Kane and bring Watkins on because he makes that run through the defence like we saw when he came on today, and gets England up the field effectively by the bootstraps because he went forward and everybody else sort of went, "Oh, we're all going forward now." But I think the reason why Kane is dropping so deep is because as captain, he feels he needs to go and help out. And because the midfield hasn't been cohesive, that's why he's been dropping further and further back just to help, I think. Like Shearer and Gary Lineker said, it's not necessarily a bad thing. He's just doing it too often. And Shearer said that Bobby Robson said to him, you're doing it too much. A few times is all right, but if you keep doing it all the time, then there's no outlet going forwards. And Harry Kane is our out-and-out centre forward. But if we've got no outlet going forward and it's Harry Kane that's on the ball in midfield, then we're stumped. There's no attacking movement forward. Then we go back again, which invites more pressure and the cycle repeats. So I think if Southgate is insisting on carrying on his Alexander-Arnold experiment with Arnold's, Rice and Bellingham in midfield, Harry Kane needs to be on the bench and Watkins needs to be the centre forward. If he changes midfield, so they're a bit more cohesive, whether that's bringing Gallagher in, it's dropping Bellingham further back and pushing Foden into the middle, or bringing Cole Palmer on, whatever it is, then you can still start Kane as your centre forwards, because he's not scored 64 goals for England by mistake, and he is the Bundesliga's top scorer in a single season now, outright, just from last season. So on paper, you have to start Harry Kane, but you need to do it in a system that will keep him further forward and not have him dropping back the whole time. But like I say, if Southgate wants to keep on with his set midfield, it has to be Watkins, because Watkins has the pace and the ability and the knowledge to stay on the offside trap and then make the darting run forward. And then all you need is ball out wide, ball into the box, and there's a chance there, easy. But if Kane's too deep, there's no chance of that happening.
No, I agree. So Green says Kane can drop, but Bellingham needs to fill his space. They talk about this on the commentary. They use the word runners a lot. If Kane's going to come in, you need people to run past him, and then which then stretches their defence, which creates the space. And you don't need us to all every other pundits mention that, and that's key. Well, that is key, and that's what we're not doing. We're not then moving beyond Harry Kane once he does drop deep. Frustrating, very frustrating. Anything else we want to mention over England? It just feels like watching Rotherham United, but it's just so draining. The thing is, they're better than Rotherham United. You know what I mean? We were rubbish, and we didn't care. This England team's got the quality, and it makes it maybe more frustrating.
Yeah, I don't think there's any reason to worry though. I think we'll go back to winning ways against. I think we'll win against Slovenia. I think we'll go far in this tournament. I really do.
Yeah. I think there's a good chance we'll be looking back at this in 2 weeks' time, thinking that we all overreacted. Yeah, let's hope, because that's all we can do at this stage. Danny, anything else on England before we move on?
As the semi-professional budding journalist that I am, I thought it was quite interesting the difference between the interviews in the post-match. Because I thought Kyle Walker was still very fired up, very adrenaline-fueled, but also trying to explain that, we've not lost. He stopped short of saying that they played awful, but he sort of said, you can't keep expecting us to pump a team 3 or 4-0, but because it's tournament football and it's a marathon, not a sprint. But then when they had Harry Kane come out and do his interview, personally, you could, well, in my opinion anyway, you could tell that Southgate's gone in and absolutely battered him for that performance, because Harry Kane was a lot more humble about it. And he, again, stopped short of saying they played awfully, but he sort of insinuated it a bit more, I thought. And then obviously Southgate came out and gave his 2p on the matter as well. And I think he knows that they've played awfully as well, because he mentioned hearing the noise from back home. So at least we know there are conversations being had in the dressing room. And I think it's now down to the players to implement Southgate's system. Personally, I think he's going to change it for the Slovenia game. I think he's going to take Trent out of midfield and just reshake it a little bit. For me, the defence is fine. Fine.
Yeah, Ghea was brilliant again today.
Yeah, Ghea had a strong shout of being one England tonight.
That's all. Yeah, other than the one mistake.
Oh, right. We said not one mistake. So
no, the one mistake which he then fixed himself. To be fair.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what you want from a centre half. You want, everyone makes mistakes. We're all human, but it's the drive to rectify the mistake, and he did it perfectly. And there were no other England player where they made a mistake and you had the desire to win it back like he did. The amount of passes that Trent and Declan Rice misplaced, but they had no desire to rectify it.
Rice's passing stats were sensational from today's game. They were genuinely brilliant. Declan Rice's passing stats were amazing.
Were they?
I've seen a stat, and I can't remember what it is now. But I found a stat with it. Rice's passes, that's brilliant.
What were they over 5 yards or 25?
I don't know.
Because any sort of short passes, he were awful.
I know, yeah.
But then that's the same with Trent. Trent were awful with his short passes, but some of the passes that he pinged out wide were brilliant.
Yeah.
But yeah, Gáithí was brilliant. I thought Trippier was all right. Again, Stones made mistakes, but it seemed to be when he stepped out of defence a little bit.
Back five's fine.
Yeah,
back five is fine.
Yeah, I thought Pickford was good as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I reckon Southgate's going to make changes for the Slovenia game, or rather, I think he has to, or else he's going to get very, very heavily criticised.
He don't care. That's the right way to do it, probably. We're back on Sunday. We'll probably do a bit more of a preview for the Slovenia game on Sunday. We will. Scott Gunny says, "Let's talk about Rotherham, please, because England are dull." Yes, that is true. I don't know if you've watched Rotherham over the last 12 months; they're pretty dull as well. But Ben, we have a signing and a kit to talk about. Let's cover the kit first of all. Middling.
Huh?
Middling kit. It's not special. It's not awful.
It's red and white. I said to you this before. There's not much you can do with red and white. I think it's an all right kit. It's not got a collar, which I like because I don't like wearing shirts with collar. I do like it. It's red and white. I mean, I think it's obviously the side bit's gonna lead into the shorts. I imagine, right? Have you seen them held out? No.
No, the shorts are all pure white. There's no red lines on them.
Oh, well, I don't know then. It's an all right. It's red and white.
Have you not seen it with shorts?
What?
Have you not seen it with the shorts on the full?
Yeah,
kit?
that's what I'm saying. I thought it led into it. It's white into it.
So.
All right, whatever.
It's white. It's pure white. The shorts. So there's no red on the shorts.
Yeah, I know, but the white's led into the shorts.
Oh,
okay. Side, it starts out and then gets wider as it goes to the short kind of thing.
Yeah. I mean,
you don't know what I mean, dear. Right?
Shirts generally lead into shorts. That's how they work.
Yeah, I know, but
I know what you mean, Ben. You're saying the white from the shorts leads into the shirt rather than the red of the shirt goes into the short.
Right. Okay. I know what you mean with last season.
When the shorts narrows up like that.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the away kit, man. Home kit's always boring. It's always the same colours. Not much you can do with it. Away kit's always the best one to look forward to. And the third.
Yeah. Paramount said the kit looks like a white T-shirt with a red training bib over it. Yeah, it does. The red stripe. No, it's the red stripes that cause it. If there's no red stripe down here, you wouldn't think it wouldn't look like that. But as you can expect, there's different. Paramount hates it because the kit's horrible. Nick says he loves the kit. The detail around the arms is a good touch. As the three people saying, it looks like a bib. There's bits. I mean, last look at last year's kit. Then when it first came out, I weren't really bothered because I didn't think the floodlight was necessary on it. But when you see it up, when I wear it, and when I saw the team play on it, I really, really liked it because from a distance, and I like some of the details on this, but I think for me, there's too much white on it. I know Ben's right. There's only so much you can do about it. But if I'm being really picky about it, I think there's too much white on it.
Yeah, I'm kind of inclined to agree as well. I mean, like I said with last year's kit, by the way, I called, we always play terribly in colours and you all laughed at me. But anyway.
Because it weren't proper colour. It didn't go all the way around. That was a problem.
It's got the flaps. It's a collar. But anyway, moving on. But no, I agree. I think this shirt's got too much white in it, and I think if you were to persist with that much white, it needs to be broken up by a third color, like the shirt from 22-23, how it had the black on it. I reckon if you were to put black trim on the sleeves and around the collar where they've got the or around the neck hole rather, where they've got the windmills, and then make the windmills either white or red, that'd look amazing. But the front panel looks a bit weird. I mean, in our group chat, I described it as an unclipped bodysuit that you sometimes see drunk lasses have on a night out, but I want to change it. Anyone who knows what a Masonic Lodge apron looks like will know exactly what I mean, but it looks like one of them, like the little square pouch on your waist, where like they wear all medals and that sort of stuff. It looks like that. It looks like there's just like a red patch that they've tacked on at the bottom. And I think for me that ruins the shirt a little bit. There's just the white's too high up here, and it makes the front look like a weird apron. So I mean, as I keep looking at it, it grows on me a little bit, but at the same time, for me, the 22-23 shirt is a hell of a lot better. I think it's better than last year's in the sense of it's not got the weird collar on it, and it almost seems a little bit brighter. Whether that's the lights that they've used, I don't know, but it's like a very mid shirt in my opinion. It's like a 6 out of 10, I think.
And to be fair, with the centenary shirt next year, it's probably understandable. Because if they've had any good ideas for a shirt, why would you not leave it for next year?
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, for all we know, we might have saved a bit of money and put it into the centenary shirt next year instead. But yeah, I don't know. That's a future conversation. What we want to see for centenary, because I've got a lot of ideas.
Yeah, Scott Gunny says he would like to see white sleeves, red body, no collar, touch of yellow. I like a collar. I think it's retro. Last season's collar was wrong because it wasn't a full one. But where we are. Nick says, but as Ben said, what can you do with red and white? It must be a hard job to come up with design year after year. Exactly.
Yeah, I think with teams that tend to stick with the very samey, like Tottenham, for example, there's not much you can do with a white shirt, is there? Even less than a red and white shirt. But for me, it's what you do with the trim that makes shirts stand out. Like the 22-23 shirt, yeah, it's a red and white shirt, but it's the trim that makes it pop a little bit. And it just needed that third colour in this shirt, and I think it would have looked really nice. But it's almost like your standard two-tone shirts are a bit boring now. It's like if we'd released this shirt, I don't know, 10 years ago or so, we'd have a completely different opinion of it. But because shirts are very like pattern-based and not just colour-based now, it just looks a little bit boring.
They're also every year. It weren't long ago. Kits were every 2 years.
Yeah,
and that makes it more difficult for kits to be kind of interesting. Shelley asked how much the centenary shirt next year will be. Hopefully, a similar price. You'd hope. They might do a special edition ones. You will have to wait and see. But Ben, the headline news from it is really that the Diamond Dogs, Diamond Partners, are still around. Bluebell Wood is the sponsor's name this year. This is not many clubs do this, so I think the club deserve kind of ignore what the kit looks like. This is out. The work the club have done for this, and the Diamond Partners is outstanding. That they managed to get another charity on. Yeah,
it's better than flipping, Bet 365 or 88 Sport or whatever. It's better than a betting site or a drinking site or whatever. So, yeah, I mean, it's brilliant that they've got a charity on. I mean, it's perfect. It's the way it should be, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's good press, Ben. A good press, Danny. Sorry, any press. Rotherham United is not Rotherham as a town is not necessarily known for good press, but this really is a good touch by the club. It's a different charity. It would be very easy, and Rotherham Hospice would be valid in keeping it again, but it helps spread the name of another great local charity. And whoever's again organises the club deserves all the credit in the world. Because I think it's brilliant.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I was a little bit disappointed not to see it being Rotherham Hospice again, which I thought would have been really good. But I suppose with it going straight to Bluebell Woods, it's again, like you say, it's fantastic that we're promoting a local charity at no cost to the charity itself. It's just the Diamond Partners who have gone, right, we'll throw some money at it. Who do we want? And it's great to see because it's very rare in football now. You see some of them sponsored by the local university or local celebrity. I'm looking at Ipswich and Ed Sheeran particularly, or just betting companies like which are rife with shirt sponsorships. But to have a local based charity, a children's charity as well, it's a fantastic thing to see. I do hope it is spread over all three shirts like Rotherham Hospice is. I imagine it will be. But I did see a few people on Twitter saying, is it just me or does it look slightly off centre? And it's like that's the Bluebell on the side that's slightly set it off centre with the text. But to me, it looks really nice. It's I'm glad they've kept it in keeping with the shirt, how it's just a pure white sponsorship. There's no colours, any blues or anything coming through from the Bluebell Wood logo. So it makes the front square of the shirt, if you like, where it's like badge manufacturer and sponsor, really nice. That square on your chest and your torso is really, really nice. But the rest of the shirt just looks a bit boring. But I do like the things on the sleeves. It's almost like retro Umbro, almost.
Yeah, true. Just better quality kit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Just not hard. To be
Yeah.
fair. We want to see if Scott Kent says anything to away kit's going to be blue. Ben, anything you want to see? Do you want to see a really silly, luminous colour for third kit?
Neon pink, neon pink, neon orange, or neon green, lime green.
For like third kit or just second?
Any mate. Either.
Okay.
Lime green, bright neon green away kit, bright neon pink or orange third kit.
So you want them both to be daft?
Yeah. The away kit should be daft. There is no other reason why they shouldn't be daft. Name one reason why an away kit shouldn't be the daftest thing you've ever seen.
I don't know.
Green and pink. Like, why not?
Green and pink?
Yeah.
Or do you mean separately? I think
No, one colour.
What green and pink together on one kit?
You're like Celtic. Instead of the white, I'm pink.
Yes. I'm like, remember the Club's Watch channel? You probably nailed this down a year ago, but we want to see a green and pink stripe second kit, and then you do what you want with third kit. I'm with Ben on this one. Change my mind. Let's go. Ben, Danny disappeared. There you go. Danny's clearly not interested in the pink and green stripe kit.
Just me and you.
Right. We'll see what happens with that one. Nick says, anybody disappointed if PK goes? He says for him, the rumour is 600 to 700,000 pounds for a player that doesn't want to be here with a year left in his contract is good business. I mean, I'll be honest with you, Ben. 600 to 700k sounds amazing business for a guy that's played about 20 times for us.
Is that the rumour? Is that actually the rumour?
That's what advertised with that, so it seems pretty good.
I think that's perfect. Really good player. I do like him, but he's just one of them guys that's always injured. Always struggles with injuries, and it's heartbreak for him because he's a really good player. But I mean, 600, 700k for a player who, like I said, you don't know if he really wants to be here. And take 600, 700k, won't you?
Yeah.
Pay for a couple of these signings.
And also, you'd say we've got Rafferty in from Portsmouth, who by all accounts was the best right back in League One next year. So you've probably already got a replacement in. So that 600-700k doesn't have to go on a right back. It can go on something else as well. So again, that's another great bit of business from Steve Evans getting business done early. Yeah,
definitely. That's how, buy players cheap, sell them on for more. It's good business.
We should send a special thank you out to Peter and Darren McAnthony for increasing his value.
I'll send it because you're blocked.
Yeah, exactly. I'm blocked. We're blocked from old Dara, but that's the benefit of the loan window is send a player away, it becomes really, really valuable, and then you can sell him on for a healthy profit. I don't know what we paid for him, but it would have been nowhere near that kind of money.
No, yeah.
So hopefully that's something. But do you feel bad, Ben? Do you feel because Matt Taylor farmed him out, and Matt Taylor should never have farmed him out? And he was fit a lot of time for Peterborough. So is he really, really unlucky, or is it maybe an issue of his own making that there was rumours of attitude and whatnot?
Yeah, you don't know why he's farmed him out. You don't know the situation behind it. Nobody knows the situation behind it. So when Matt Taylor gets sacked, it's really easy to be like, "What an idiot! He's he's done this, he's done that." Kiosa might have told him to shove it at the start of the season. You know what I mean? No one knows. I'm not saying that he has. I'm not starting a rumour.
Do it, Ben. Come on, do it. Say it with some authority and people believe you.
But yeah, you don't know what's happened. No one knows what happened. It might have not got along. Didn't think you were going to play. Whatever. Is what it is. But we still should make a profit on him.
Oxford and Plymouth are the two that are rumoured to be in for him. So it's not exactly he's going to a high-flying team in there. Both of those clubs are in with a reasonable chance of being in League One the season after next anyway. But we get a bit of cash for him, which has never been a bad thing.
No.
We have made a signing, Ben. We made Zach Jules has been brought in from Exeter City. I think both of us are going to sit here and not say we don't know too much about him.
No, I haven't heard him.
What I do know that though he's a left-sided defender, and that's something since Tyler Blackett did his hamstring, we've been crying out for a left-sided defender, as a central defender as well, because we really lacked a lot. See, last season we lacked so much balance, didn't we?
Yeah, got a lot of centre halves now. Got Raggett, Humphries, and 𝐿𝐥𝐿𝐵. So
yeah,
I'm still going number one.
Centre halves
Must have.
We must have another centre half. Hacks can do it, can't he?
Yeah, but we've got enough now. You know, maybe one more, whatever. But he's a good player. He's a good squad player. He's doing. He's signing a lot of players. So you know, let's just hope they can. It's better than signing loan players like we did last time. That's it's an improvement from 10
And not
years
signing
ago.
players on 1-year contracts as well.
Yeah.
I know they're all 2-year contracts.
Yeah, not signing Dexter Blackstock. I'm sure he's giving him a ring and offered him 50k a week. But he's about 60 now, isn't he? So
Exactly. We asked an exit podcast, I think it's the My New Football Club, for a bit of insight onto Zach Jules. They came back with different bits of information. They said that it could be a catwalk model, and that it rarely smiles, which is kind of the insight we look for in this kind of podcast. It also says big, tall, surprisingly silky, and one of Exeter's best players last season. And again, the big, tall, and silky. That again, Cam Humphries is. Are we going to see a Steve Evans total football kind of thing here? Cam Humphries right side centre half, Zach Jules left side centre half. Here we go. Liam Kelly just in front, dictating play. Just smell it. Can you smell it, Danny?
Well, I'm certainly smelling something that Steve Evans is cooking, but I'm not sure what it is yet. But yeah, sorry for my slight delay in getting back. My computer just decided to completely disconnect from my Wi-Fi for whatever reason. So I'm sorry if I repeat anything that's been said, but Zach Jules was primarily deployed as a left wing back for Exeter last season. So it's good to know we've got cover if we need to in that position, but also he can play as that left-sided centre-back. And it's nice to have a left-footed left-sided centre-back as well. Yeah. I think he's an improvement on Jamie McCart. So maybe us pursuing Zach Jules was a reason why he's been transfer listed, because he said that Steve Evans contacted him about 6 days after the transfer, after the season ended. Which, you know, Steve Evans take with a pinch of salt, etc. But yeah, with the whole silky football type thing, it's a bit, now then, what's going on here? No. You know, we're not used to this. And he is of a fairly good age as well, 27, which is nice. We're not signing 30-year-olds, which you know, can only be a good thing. So yeah, I'm excited to see what he can do for us if he's been Exeter's one of Exeter's better players last season. The only thing that Jed warned me about is that he's a bit of a journeyman. As soon as he sort of gets the inkling that he don't like it something anymore, he sort of down tools and off he goes. So he sounds a little bit like Freddie Ladipo in that regard, because he's had 15 clubs at 27, which is a bit heavy. Yeah, I think he's definitely the 2 years and out sort of type. A bit like Conor.
15 clubs.
I'm not
How
sure.
do you even do that?
Some of them will have to have been loans. I hope anyway.
Hell, yeah. So he went to Reading, Hemel Hempstead, Braintree, Motherwell, Shrewsbury, Chesterfield, Port Vale, Barnet, all on loan. Macclesfield permanently, Walsall, McDonald's, Fleetwood on loan, Exeter, and now us. Well, he's been professional less than 10 years.
What's that?
He's been professional for less than 10 years.
Yeah. So, well, it sort of says more about Reading's development system more than anything, I reckon. Well, yeah. But from hearing those clubs, it sort of sounded like he's been on the up a little bit with being at Exeter. And hopefully he can carry that on with us. But, you know, it's another 2-year contract, so I think it's a sense of we'll have a look at how we are this season and then go again. Which seems to be the vibe that we're going for. I would like to sign a player on a longer term contract, if I'm being honest, like some sort of young, hungry player that we can develop. But, you know, that's not really Steve Evans' way. Yeah, I'm excited to see what he does for us and where he actually gets played as well, because we've got Bramall and Reece James on that left side.
Forgot about Reece James.
Yeah, there you go. I remember these things. And now we've got Zach Jules as potentially another wing-back option, maybe a centre-back option. Then we've got Humphreys and Raggett as more of out-and-out centre-backs, shall we say. But if we were to play Zach Jules, Humphreys and Raggett in a back three, I wouldn't say no to it.
Yeah. He's got pedigree at international, youth international level. He got to the semi-finals of the European Under-17s Championship. They got the bronze medal at the Toulon tournament, which is the first time Scotland have ever done that. So he's got a bit of pedigree from that sense as well.
And he played 40 times for Exeter last season and scored twice, both from just outside the 18-yard box, I think.
There's no Sean Morrison in here. There's no Grant Hall in here that's injured quite a lot, even Tyler Blackett as well. The players that are available, which should be a prerequisite, really. Should have been a prerequisite last season. Danny, we just touched on PK while you were away. Do you want to just give us your brief thoughts on the rumours that he's going away for 600-700k to Oxford or Plymouth?
It'd be a profit, so I'm not opposed to it. I think, I said this at the time, the decision to loan him to Peterborough was a daft one. We've seen how well he played for Peterborough, and to be fair, how well he played for us in the first couple of games when he came back as well. It would have been a real asset to have on that right side and would have added a different turn of pace to Peltier at right back as well. But, if his heart's not in it with us, then, only one thing to do, and that's cash in, bring in 650k or however much we get for him. And then that can go on the wages of, a more experienced free agent or potentially get as a young, hungry player from a League One club. So if he wants to go, fair enough. It's the right time for us to let him go and cash in as well. And it might bring us in an equally good, if not better, right back who we can improve a little bit as well. So it's more in PK's court. If he doesn't want to graft under Steve Evans and play some of the best League One football of his life and potentially win the league, which he'll never do with Peterborough, then, all the more power to him. But if he wants to stick it out, then, fair enough, fair play to him. But this is his best chance to win a league title. And the worst thing is Peterborough can't afford him, so oops a daisy, But I think if the likes of Oxford, Plymouth, I think Coventry and Stoke have been rumoured as well to be in the mixing pot. Wherever he goes, it'll be Championship football potentially for him. And
but
so,
is it fair? Has he earned a championship? I know whether he's earned it or not is irrelevant. Has he earned a championship move?
From what he's shown for Rotherham United, no. From what he showed for Peterborough last season, yes. Which, like I say, it's just a crying shame Peterborough can't afford him. But, swings and roundabouts. I'm sure Alan Swan will have something to say about that, how we've somehow cheated Peterborough out of a deal again or something like that. But you never know, he might rejoin Victor at Stoke. That might be nice.
Potentially. I feel like I had something else to mention, but I can't think what it was. Do we have something else to talk about? Or is that it? I feel like I've missed something.
There's Legends Night tomorrow.
It's a bit late to plug tickets for that, Kev, though. All I would say for that is Henry's going. I know you're going down. Are you going, Ben?
No.
Ben's bailed and left Mick on his own. Anybody that's going tomorrow, I'm sure you'll have an amazing time. I'm missing this one. I'm away for the weekend, so it's the first one I'm missing, which is disappointing.
Don't worry, Matt. I'll wind Mick up for you.
That's fine. If you see Mick, please talk to him.
Yes, please do. He'll be on my table, and I'll leak this. We're on table 11. So if you're going, come to table 11. Say hello to me, my mum, my girlfriend, Mick, and his wife as well. Mick will have such riveting conversation for you.
He will. And he's genuinely he's been working this week, so he'll be tired. Bless him. So make him go talk to him, go tickle him.
Yeah, go talk to him, buy him a beer, and he'll be your best friend.
I think he'll be driving. I don't think he'll be drinking. Bless him.
Still buy him a beer because it makes it funny if he can't drink it.
Nick asked me at 7K season tickets. Not quite yet. I think we're 6.5. I think.
Yeah, we're getting close to 7K. I think.
Which is not bad to be fair for it's almost similar to what it was last year. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else. Is there anything else?
Couple things on Saturday. There's the midnight walk Saturday night into Sunday. So fair play if anyone's doing that. I'm not doing it this year because I'm going out for mate's birthday. I apologise.
You could combine the two.
What's that? Sorry.
You could combine the two things then, Danny. You missed a trick.
That would be one hell of a pub crawl, wouldn't it? Mind you, I might bump into the midnight walk if it's in town. But also, if anyone wants to get up early on a Saturday morning and head over to Pewter Pot, we are playing the Barnsley Mine charity in our own warm-up game for the Gimme Park Charity Cup. I will be playing, hopefully. So come and say hello and chuck a bit of money at the hospice if you feel like it. Kick-off's at 12 o'clock for that one.
Wonderful news. We shall be back on Sunday evening. Hopefully Mick will be back with us. We'll see if we can get anybody else to come on Sunday. We'll talk a little bit more about England, previewing the Slovenia game. We'll get Mick's views and Tom's. I think Tom will probably be with us on Sunday about 𝐁𝐞𝐬𝐭 kit and everything else that comes in between it. We will ask you again, if you haven't done already, please don't nominate us for the Football Content Awards. The link is in the show notes. So if you're on YouTube, you can go on there, click the link, select. You can nominate us under Content Creators for the Football League. We would very much appreciate that. I think closing August. You've got a couple more months before of us still annoying you and asking you to do that. So Ben, make sure you've done it, please. Make sure you subscribe. You're on YouTube, and if you're on YouTube, make sure you subscribe. If you're watching on X, go over, and we're 6 more away from 1,500 on YouTube. So please do so on there. If you're on iTunes and Spotify, make sure you have liked and followed us or subscribe wherever it may be, whatever it allows you to do, and give us a 5-star rating if you can do as well. I'm getting confused. This England's really mashed my head today, to be honest with you. Can't really think straight. So thanks, Gareth. Ben, thank you very much for being with us tonight. I appreciate you making the effort, unlike Mick. So
I know, honestly, some people just not good enough, mate. Not good enough. I'm committed to the cause, unlike some people.
Yeah, we'll get somebody to have a word with Mick. We'll get creative director to have a conversation with Mick, see what he can do for future. And Danny, it's a pleasure as always, mate. Thank you.
Yep, always a pleasure, lads. I think the last of me England steam's blown out now, so thank you.
Until Tuesday.
Until Tuesday, yeah.
Thank you, everybody. We'll see you all next time. And as always, up the Millers.
Up the Millers.
Ben's yawning. Sorry, Ben. I know I've done you a bit there.
I thought you were going to click play. You've done me in there.
I was still talking.
Perfect place to end.
You've done me in there.
We'll see you all next time.
Oh, dear.
Slides into Wales through a goal, slots it beyond Foderingham, and the Millers are in front in the South Yorkshire derby. And for the first time in 42 years, Rotherham United win at Bramall Lane. On the edge of the box, the Dolphin, he can hit them, and he does. Oh! The Dolphin has scored an absolute screamer for Rotherham United. Rotherham United have secured their championship status for next season.
Do me a favor, drop me off